2021, the Campground Rundown will be doing campsite reviews throughout the U.S., primarily in the Midwestern states. On the weeks we're not able to do this, we're going to do some form of camping-related content. Thank you for watching. Welcome to the first episode of Campground Rundown here at National Bridge State Park, Kentucky. We were staying at the Whittleton Campground. What you'll notice as you're coming into the campground, you need to pay attention. Your GPS is going to want you to turn into the main lodge area, which is this small bridge on the right side of the road. You'll need to ignore the GPS and go to the very next left and be on the lookout for signage. As soon as you make this sharp little left, then back around to the right, you're going to be looking to the left. The one small sign right here is the only indication you've got. This is a somewhat sharp left-hand turn. Coming right into the entrance. The weekend we were here, there was no staffing on hand to check us in. You were pretty much left to your own. This is a small campground, 30 to 40 sites. From the looks of it, smaller campers and tents, what it's designed for. To get to the dump station and the shower house, you're going to need to cross over a very small concrete bridge that most of this weekend has been under a couple feet of water. In front is the only shower house restroom in the facility. The dump station, you'll see, is an extremely tight, hard left-hand turn that any camper over 20 feet is going to struggle with. The back section in this area has majority of small campers, tow behinds, and tents. Again, back over the small concrete bridge that in heavy rains will be a foot and a half over water. This turn is going to be about impossible for anything other than the smallest of campers. This is the only access road to the best spots in the campground. It's already caused issues with more than one vehicle trying to go. You'll see there's just not a lot of room. Off to the left, if you hang a tire into that, you're going to get stuck. But these are some of the best campsites we've been in as far as surrounding, isolation, and just overall atmosphere. These sites are surrounded on both sides by extremely tall cliffs. And again, any of the larger campers are going to struggle getting them in. This area does have immediate access to several trails and Daniel Boone National Forest. There are no amenities down this leg. One of the good things is each site does have its own water and electricity. Your trailhead is a mere minutes from where you're camped. All right, we're going to do a quick review of site A31, which is the typical site. What is nice, they've added the gravel along the side, so it does make it a little easier to cut the bigger campers in. We found the paved site to be extremely level. Did not take a lot. Electrical hookups are standard. A couple picnic tables on this one. Every site does come with the anti-bear / anti-coon trash hanging system. The electric and water on each site are centrally located. The fire pits range from some that have been beat up pretty good and unusable to a bit newer and functioning. What does make it nice about this stretch of sites is you're a matter of feet from the creek. One thing about this low-lying area, if you get any rain at all, it does get a bit sloppy. We did have quite a bit of rain the first 2 nights we were here, but we did not experience any flooding, even with as close as what we were to the creek. What we found was the overall site conditions were very clean, and the proximity to the other sites, you're not right on top of each other. You've got 20, 30 feet, and someplace even more, so you really can't hear what your neighbors are doing. For the campground rundown rating system, we're going to use a basic 1 through 5. 1 would be like trying to light a wet pile of leaves. 2 is a smoldering mess. 3 would be a campsite wood bundle. 4 is good seasoned firewood. 5 would be a hair cincher. The 3 categories we're going to rate are the amenities, which will include the bathhouse, electricity and water on site, are the sites flat and level, and availability of a dump station. 2 will be accessibility. Is the entrance easy to find, easy to turn into? Does it have good signage? The roadways, are they wide, are they narrow? Site location, accessibility, ease of backing your camper in. Atmosphere will be the final category. Your proximity and closeness to others. Cleanliness, is it pet friendly? Availability of wildlife, and accessibility to trails. For Natural Bridge State Park in Kentucky, for the amenities, we're going to give it a 3. That's the campsite wood bundle. While the bathhouse was older and what appeared to be built in the 70s, the area we stayed into, it was still a pretty good walk from our site. There was electricity and water on each site. The sites were very flat, very level. For the dump station, again, it looked as though it had been built in the 70s. And in the previous video segment, you can see where it was extremely difficult to get into, tight turns, not a lot of room for a bigger trailer, plus you had to go across that creek area. In accessibility, we're going to give it a 2. It was a smoldering mess. The entrance had very poor signage. The entrance is right on a sharp left dog leg, so you have to be paying attention. Once you get into the park, the roadways were extremely narrow, only able to see one vehicle passing by. If you were to meet a vehicle coming at you, somebody's off in the mud. Site locations, while this was one of the high points, being as isolated as what they were, again with that narrow driveway, extremely difficult to get a bigger trailer in there. Anything much bigger than a 30-footer without an experienced driver, you're going to struggle. For atmosphere, we're going to give it a 5. The proximity to other campsites in the area we were in, you had a lot of room, you couldn't hear your neighbors. It was pretty comfortable. It was an extremely clean park. It was very pet friendly. Even though the trails inside the park itself do not allow pets, the location to Daniel Boone National Forest does allow pets on their trails. While wildlife, we thought there would be some viewing opportunities. The 4 days we stayed there, we saw 0 wildlife, not even a squirrel. The trails is what the National Bridge State Park is known for, so there is quite a few trail access and different levels of trails from beginner to expert. Our overall score for National Bridge will be a 3.5. As much as we like the atmosphere, just the accessibility and the amenities with some of the older bathhouse, the inability to use the dump station brings that score down. Thank you for watching.